Well, this is a trail, but no, it's not the trail or the Colorado Trail. And why is that? I was all set to hike the next section. That would be section 2 of the Collegiate West Alternative, or I'd call it section 13 by my own personal journey. But then I saw this weather forecast. But it is September, so there's always a possibility that whatever snow came from those storms would melt off and go away. So I kept looking, and I kept looking, and I kept looking. The same thing happened to me last year. I kept hiking sections of the trail, but eventually I got to a section that was really long and really high, and it just didn't make sense to try and hike those under the threat of snow. If the next section was maybe 3 days and, one day you went over a high pass, then, I've been out in the snow a lot, I'd probably go for it. But when you're talking about multiple days between 11 and 12,000 feet and no opportunity to get back out if it gets too bad, I'd be stuck in there for 5 days, like it or not. It just didn't make sense to go on. And that's the thing, the shoulder season between hiking the Colorado Trail and up in the high country and ski season. Well, that's a big, long period of time, as it turns out, because the snow does start in the high country months and months and months before the ski resorts will actually open. So what am I up to? I'm going for a little overnighter in one of my favorite haunts. Now, if you're a big corporation, you get access to public lands like nobody's business. So, what the heck is that thing? Well, this is the tunnel that the railroad tracks go through. We can see those over there. And the trains, of course, fill the tunnel full of diesel fumes. And that thing vents all those diesel fumes back out. And man, when that thing's on, when this little engine right there ramps up and starts going, it makes this incredible howling noise that you can hear for miles and miles and miles. And if you're hiking this trail and that thing goes off, you cannot scurry past here quick enough. Lucky for me, it's not on now. Now there is a chance that we get an Indian summer, a longer respite from the winter-like conditions, and I could rush up there and hike that section of the trail. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, but like I said before, it's way too early to go skiing. So still want to do something. So hiking, overnighters kind of makes sense. Well, because this is an overnighter, I don't really have to save myself for any time period beyond tomorrow. But I'm still taking breaks because it's one of the wonderful things that I learned about pacing myself is that these times that you rest are times that you get to absorb the world around you and take in these places that you've struggled so hard to get to. So I'm still taking breaks. Another strange thing about just doing an overnighter is that I don't really have to do any particular amount of miles. Let's go up here somewhere and camp, head back. I have a plan, but I don't need to stick to it, which is really different from when I've hiked this Colorado Trail. I got left off at one place and I had to get picked up in another place at a certain time. It meant every day there was a certain amount of miles that I have to go. My old iPhone, which camera was starting to fritz out on me, well, it's been replaced by this phone, which is also an old iPhone, but it's a newer old iPhone. So for your viewing pleasure, we should now be able to zoom in. Let's zoom in. Oh, look at that faraway peak and those dark clouds overhead. Wait, it's even closer now. And it's not leaping around all annoyingly. I'm thinking of going up towards Crater Lakes. And the junction to that trail is 1/2 mile. Which is good to have the sign there because guess what? That app that I've been using on the Colorado Trail tells me how many miles I've hiked, how many miles I gotta go, where the next water supply is, when I'm gonna hit dirt roads, resupply possibilities, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't work here because it's only designed to work on the Colorado Trail, which I have to say is a little bit liberating. I'm just gonna hike till I get there. Well, this is the most rain I've had on the trail in the last 2 years. And you might ask, why did you pick this day for your overnighter? Well, because it's the only one in the forecast that didn't have rain. But you got to remember, it's been huge layoffs and firings at the National Weather Service. So you really shouldn't expect the overworked minions who are left in that place to be able to do that good of a job. So, oh well for me. And now the sun's out. That's pretty typical for Colorado. I didn't think that rain was going to last too long, but I wasn't going to take a break while it was going on. So I've hiked way more than my accustomed mile and then take a break. I'm getting closer to 2 miles without a break. So what the heck. According to the sign, which so far has been wildly inaccurate, I should only have about 1/2 mile to go, and then I'll be up by Crater Lakes. So let's see how accurate that is. This may be just an overnighter, but this is no wimpy climb. I think I'm doing, about 2,500 feet. And this is an old trail that nobody's ever really fixed up. It has a whole lot of straight up. So definitely a tough climb. But I'm getting pretty close to the lakes here. So stay tuned. It's a beautiful spot. It will be worth it sitting on your butt watching YouTube to take in this view. This trail has one of those fault summits. You get to a little saddle down there and you go like, oh yeah, I'm done climbing. Now the thing is, I've done this hike many, many a times. And I know that this part is here where it gets steep again. When I clear this, then I'll actually be done climbing. Well, this is the payoff for all that hiking with that pack on. You get to be in a place like this. That's pretty cool. Duh. Morning. All right, there's been a change of plan. My plan was to drop my pack down here and then hike up. There's a little secluded lake hanging out right there. Really cool place to hang out. But Mr. Moose, when I started going over there, started getting closer and closer and closer. And I went like, what don't I want to mate in the middle of the woods? Great big old bull moose with huge antlers. Yep, that's the answer to that question. So, new plan is, let's head on down. So this area is called Crater Lakes, and it is plural. This is the second lake that's up here. It's a little smaller. Kind of beautiful little setting here. You know, I was thinking about this on my way down because I'm retracing my steps back to the car now, is that on the Colorado Trail, I've hiked about 190 miles now, and all except maybe 3 or 4 miles in Kenosha Pass and, a couple of ski runs that I crossed, every inch of the way was somewhere new to me. I mean, the amount of places that I've seen, just amazing. Which is in contrast to this. This is an old favorite. I've been up to Crater Lakes, a half a gazillion times. But it is still, of course, a wonderfully beautiful place. But it does not have that freshness to it of going like, oh, I'm now in a place that I've never been before. This is one crazy steep trail. As you can see here, I'm already significantly below tree line. I said this on other videos. I always feel sad giving up all this altitude. When I was hiking up here yesterday, I thought, one of two things is going on. One is that I'm a tired old man because this is taking a long time to cover this 1 mile, or that this sign is wildly inaccurate. So I measured it on my way down, and it's actually 2 miles here. So 100% off. And that other sign back in the meadow, well, I'll show you on the way back. It says 1/2 mile, kind of like this here. But it's actually 1.2. So you're getting close to 2 extra miles more than the signs are telling you. All right, there's that sky that's been grumbling at me. But the good thing is, because this is just an overnighter, I'll soon be back at the car. Even if I get poured on, I'll be fine. I've been running a little experiment on today's hike. And that is, I've been taking breaks, shorter breaks, every 2 miles. Because this is a non-critical hike, I wanted to see, am I overdoing it with the breaks on the hike? And from today's data that I've collected, it's a definitive no. Really, taking a break every mile really makes a lot of sense. Letting the shoes and socks air out. If there's a stream, cooling off my feet. I'm feeling way more worked. And the thing about breaks, it's always for the long haul. Today being a short trip, there wasn't a long haul. So I didn't have to worry about it and I could experiment a bit. But it's absolutely the case that doing what I'm doing, breaks every mile, is working. And working well, so I'm going to keep with it. Huh. All right. Somebody knocked over this wilderness sign. And if I was going to take retribution on any of these signs, it wouldn't be that one. It'd be the ones with the mileages that are really inaccurate. But, you know, who knows? Maybe that big moose I saw up the trail was rubbing its antlers on it, knocked it over. I have no idea. I'm sorry, no big white pickup truck this time.